What if everything we know about space is only a fraction of the truth?
Are we truly alone in this endless darkness? Or just unaware of what is watching us?
Every night, we look at the sky. But what if the sky is also looking back at us?
Scientists believe we understand space. But what if everything we know is incomplete? The universe is not silent. It is just waiting for us to listen. And the real question is, what if something out there is already responding? What if the universe is not empty, but watching us in silence?
Are we truly alone? Or just too small to notice what is already there?
Something in space is not random. It is structured, like it has intent. What we call noise might actually be a language we don't understand yet. Every answer we find creates a deeper question. And then, something started responding back. NASA satellites began detecting something that should not exist. And then, space itself began to bend.
It wasn't a place. It was a structure inside space itself.
And the most terrifying part, it started reacting to us. This was no longer a discovery. It was a conversation. When scientists decoded the signal, they found something impossible. It wasn't noise. It was mathematics. Could this be a message from an intelligence beyond Earth?
Across the world, scientists entered emergency mode.
The signal was no longer random. It was responding to us. This was not discovery anymore. It was first contact. When the signal was confirmed, the entire world reacted at once.
Governments immediately activated emergency space protocols.
The whole city sees it! What is that light?
Check the feed. They're saying it's decoding the signals now.
This can't be real!
But the signal was not stopping. It was spreading.
For the first time, we weren't asking questions. We were being answered.
And then, the universe stopped being silent. The signal was traced to a region we thought was empty. Gravity itself was behaving incorrectly. And then, something inside the void revealed a pattern.
It wasn't empty space. It was structured architecture.
And the signal was coming from inside it. And for the first time, we realized it was not natural. The structure wasn't static. It was changing as we observed it. Even gravity itself was no longer stable in that region. And then, the signal changed its behavior again. It was not just observing us. It was learning from us.
We were no longer observers. We were part of the system.
And in that moment, we understood. The universe was not empty.
The signal didn't fade. It began to respond faster. Even Earth itself began to react.
The signal wasn't just in space, it was everywhere.
Every attempt to observe it changed it. It was no longer a signal. It was a conversation forming.
And for the first time, we understood we were being answered.
The signal was no longer a message. It was a system. And Earth was already inside it. Reality itself began to behave unpredictably. Every response created a new layer of the system. We weren't discovering it, we were activating it. And that's when we realized it was never outside us.
We finally traced the signal to its origin point, and it wasn't a place.
And then it crossed the threshold. Something noticed that we noticed it. It was not contacting us, it was becoming aware of us.
And in that moment, humanity was no longer alone in the universe. But what we called a signal was never meant to be communication.
It was a correction system, maintaining balance across the universe.
And we were never the observers. We were the observed variable.
The universe was not being studied. It was studying itself through us.
And everything we discovered was already known by the system.
We did not find the universe. We became aware that it had always found us.
After the signal stopped, the world didn't celebrate. It went silent.
Satellites stopped detecting the structure, as if it never existed.
Every scientist asked the same question. Did we wake it up?
But the universe did not answer again, because it already had.
And somewhere in the silence of space, something was still listening.
We thought the signal came from the universe, but it came from our understanding of it.
Every signal we detected was shaped by how we looked at it.
The universe was not sending us messages, it was completing itself through us.
At that moment, the idea of outside no longer made sense.
We were never outside it, because we were always inside the question itself.
And the signal was never discovered. It was remembered.
After the signal, humanity didn't collapse. It changed.
All monitoring systems were rebuilt, but they never detected it again. But in deep space, something still reacted when Earth went silent. It was not an end. It was a reset of understanding. We stopped searching for the signal because we became part of its silence.
And somewhere, the universe continued listening to itself.
Space became quiet again, but not empty. New science didn't try to find the signal, it tried to understand why it stopped.
We stopped asking what is out there and started asking what we are.
The universe did not disappear. It simply stopped speaking to us.
And maybe it was never about contact. It was about realization.
But the final question was never asked. Who sent the signal?
The signal responded because we asked about it.
If the signal existed only when we looked for it, then who? The universe was not answering us. We were answering ourselves.
There was never a sender, only a system completing perception. And in the end, the universe was not something we discovered. It was something we realized. The story was never about space. It was about perception itself.
Every answer led back to the one who asked.
Even the idea of universe was only a thought trying to understand itself.
And then, nothing needed to be said anymore.